we are live tonight from the Outer Rim in what is another gorgeous night. Cubs are back with Rogue Actions.
I'm going Tuscan on you right at the beginning.
I don't know where my gaffy stick is. It's somewhere.
You've got a stick like that?
I've got a gaffy stick.
You've got everything, man.
Yeah.
I gotta come out. So true story. My brother is very likely moving to Denver soon, and I told him I need to help him move when he goes so that I can come see you.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
sure,
no
man.
offense.
100%.
This doesn't have to anything to do with me wanting to help you, and everything to do with me wanting to go like visit the hall live.
The hall just got bigger, so you'll be. It's in my basement. Not to be a creeper or anything. You might get stabbed in the back if you came down here. But.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous to go down there, but I don't know, man. We'll see. What are we talking about today? Are we doing a video or are we just hanging out?
Okay, we are doing a video, and if you guys know the format, there are 3 topics on my channel.
Woo!
3 topics on Cubs' channel, and here we go, guys. We are starting it off, Cubs, with returning players. Now, this is a topic that's been on my mind for a few weeks now. We had McMole coming back to the game after a 2 to 3 month hiatus. I don't know if we can really say he quit the game because he had someone playing his account. A true quitting of the game is, you're out completely in my mind.
Selling your account or selling your mods.
Yes. Selling your mods is the real
full commitment.
Full-on quitting.
Yeah.
And we had just recently this last week, our friends over at the Galactic War Report, Sean and John. Sean mentioned that he was quitting. He quit for a week, and I guess from what I heard is that Top Hat reached out to him directly. And
really?
I'm sure they got
That's news to me.
Top Hat reached out to them.
It's so funny to me that it happened that way because we were laughing about it as content creators because for whatever reason, Galactic War Report seemed to be the only creators immune to CG like not liking them. They would still talk to them, and so it's kind of funny that CG got them back in.
So Top Hat reached out to them directly. And I'm sure they got promised an exclusive down the road, and they probably got a glimpse of the roadmap, I'm guessing. Let's okay, Urz and I are quitting. Capital Games, you hear us? We're quitting. We're done with your
today.
game.
Goodbye.
Yeah, no. I think my I quit video would be a lot harsher than Sean's very nicely put, like, hey, this is getting a little bit crazy with the requirements.
I didn't watch his, but...
Yeah. So we've had players leave the game. Micro as well in that batch, and Micro talking about coming back as like kind of a Kraken free-to-play or Kraken new account. I don't know if he's come back quite yet. I have to talk to him about it. But we've seen people leave and come back.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Does that say that the grass is not really greener on the other side? An old timer, Smithy D, commented on my rant video a couple days ago.
Smithy D did?
Smithy D.
No.
And he's like, this video is hilarious. So we've
Smithy D.
people.
I would love Smithy D to come back. A lot of people think that my original inspiration for YouTube would have come from like Arnold or Mobile Gamer. It was Smithy D for me, man. That's the guy that I listen to. And
it's
so
me,
I would
the
love
Smithy
it.
D.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, and the outro with Ryu, man. Man. But so here's what I would say. You can talk about returning players from 2 lenses. You can talk about returning content creators and returning players. And I think that it's 2 separate considerations because there's a lot different. There's a lot of different factors that would go into someone deciding to return to Galaxy of Heroes that is not a content creator and somebody who is a content creator. And I definitely think for the content creators, I think a lot of them, it's hard to leave and go to a different game, and you're not going to have the same success you had in Galaxy Heroes because this game supports their YouTubers very well. We're very nice to YouTubers in this game, and I think that's great. And so from a content creation standpoint, it might be difficult to leave and look at what your old friends are doing, and you're going to probably want to come back. I think that's pretty natural. From a player standpoint, I think it's a community consideration because one does not simply give up this community. For me, that's what if you remove the content creation, that's what I would have the hardest time leaving. And so I think you see a lot of players coming back because they miss the community. They miss the regular Star Wars interaction. Your Star Wars fandom is different. I talked about this, I talked about this in a video recently, but Galaxy of Heroes makes me a different Star Wars fan.
For sure.
It's a daily fandom experience because of this game, and I don't want to give that up. And so I think it's different for content creators versus regular players, but I do think it also speaks to the game is maybe not as in bad of a place as some of those creators may have perceived when they left.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a, we're content creators, so it's a bit easier to identify with that. But I think you look at our community, and just it's the IP, right? All these other games that come along that are like Galaxy of Heroes.
That damn IP, it gets you.
The IP
gets you every time,
just
man.
Untouchable, man, and just the player base. Like, I see these games that come out on the App Store, and they actually look better than this game, and look like, I mean, that could really be fun. But it's just like, is that going to have the same player base that this IP has?
No,
I just doubt it. No, not at all.
Can't touch it. Can't touch
this. All right. Let's keep it rolling here, Cubs. And the next topic we want to talk about here is relics. Now, Cubs, there's a couple of notions here. I'm curious as to how you're applying your relics, and also any tips that you may have for people that are doing their relics. One of the tips I wanted to share before we kind of dive into it, Cubs, is the hala projector. A lot of people call them the hala projector, right?
Mark III hala projectors. There's 20 salvage. Yep, I know where you're going with this.
So the tip is to actually, instead of using the salvage, actually farm up the piece, and you get more relic salvage from it. So tips like that.
I actually made a video about this a couple months ago. It was in January. I remember because I was putting the video together during the national championship for college football, actually. And that memory just randomly came to me. And I did not know this about the Mark III projectors until I made this video. I was doing research on it, and it blew my mind, because if you put 20 salvage into those Electrium conductors, I think it is, you only get 5 of them. Or the heat sinks, the heat sinks. You only get 5 of them, but if you just take those same 20 salvage and craft them into a fully crafted Mark III projector, then you get 10. So you double what you get based on that. And so that's really essential to make sure. For those heat sinks, I think the only thing you want to be doing with that, assuming you don't have a ridiculous amount of excess other gear elsewhere, you want to be using those projectors, crafting them into a single piece, and using that for 10 heat sinks, and then you just need 2 of them so that you're good to go. So, some other tips I had were to farm. When you start taking somebody up to relics, take them to relic 4. Take everybody to relic 4, and anybody you take beyond relic 4, take them all the way to 7.
Now, okay, so a couple questions come to mind here.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the philosophy that you should take an entire team to R7 to make the team as best as possible? Or do you like to sprinkle your relics around on specific characters across a wide kind of spectrum?
So my philosophy of life is I just flipped into an English accent for some random reason. That wasn't even an English accent. I don't know what that was. Just edit that out, Urza. You're not going to edit that out, are you?
No. We're keeping this. This is how we roll in 2020, man.
Damn you. Okay. There's no editing in 2020. No. So I am a sprinkler. I sprinkle those relics. I sprinkle them throughout. I want to find and identify the characters that benefit the most from relics, because I'm a Grand Arena centric player. In fact, sometimes I'm too Grand Arena centric, where for a while there, my arena team, I was like, man, my arena team's really suffering. My Grand Arenas were going very well because I had, some relic Night Sisters. I had some relic Jedi. I had some relic, other people. Just all throughout my roster. Almost every team has somebody who's relicked. But I didn't have a full team. And my Sith Empire team, I just couldn't win. I was like, well, maybe I guess I could just relic 7 my Darth Revan, and then that made a huge difference for me, and now I'm doing a lot better in arena. So I think you need to be able to. The one team I think is really important to have full relics is your arena team. Make sure you're competitive in arena. But other than that, I like to spread my relics to get as much spread benefit as possible. Also, if you relic too many characters that aren't benefiting your Grand Arena, then you might run into some difficult matchups, right, Urza?
Oh, I know all about that, brother. All right, no, I believe in the spread philosophy as well. I like to move it around, and a little bit here, a little bit there, kind of make things good. All right, and the last topic here now, Cubs.
I like how you just hard cut the subject. And we're done. On to the next subject.
So I was at the gym, if you can imagine that today, and I was doing the elliptical.
Ooh.
And
the elliptical. You gotta say, you gotta start this. Cut this out. Say it again. I was at the gym doing 225 on bench. All right. I was doing my combine weight.
Staring at a picture of Malik, and I was feeling really good.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so you were doing the bench press, 225.
And then I was scrolling through my YouTube, and there was the second part of your whale video.
There it was, yeah.
There it was, and I was like, okay. And then I looked at the time, and I was like, 40 minutes? And I listened to all 40 minutes while I was exercising.
Okay.
It was very therapeutic. It was a good video.
Thank you.
I liked it more than the original one because the spectrum was just, there's a lot of different opinions. But what I'm noticing here is everybody is just so damn respectful of each other. There's no bad blood there. We always think there's bad blood, and maybe there is in, outliers here on the Kraken side, outliers here on the free-to-play side. I mean, we see a little bit of that on Reddit with the bad attitudes. But I got to commend you, man. Great video again. What's your takeaway from that video?
Oh, man, I had a big takeaway, and I've definitely approached these videos, especially the first one. I kind of had... It's one of those things where you got to respect your journalism, right? And I don't really, as a YouTuber, I don't usually look at myself as a journalist, really. But some videos I do. I feel like it's an investigation or an interview kind of thing where I don't have an agenda. I just want to find out what happens, right? See what's going on. And the first one, I definitely felt like the result was not what I thought it was, and I was really inspired by it. This one, it was similar. I actually deliberately sought out people who I knew could be a little hot-tempered sometimes. Like, I don't mean that anything against those guys. I just know those guys can have strong opinions. I know all of them, and they can have strong opinions. And I didn't want anybody to hate each other, but I kind of wanted to hear some raw takes, and I didn't really get that. And I think part of it is just really speaks to it's when you hear about the division, it's a vocal minority. And I think when it really comes down to it, people are respectful to each other and people want to understand each other. And when people are talking to each other, they're going to err on the side of being respectful. The second thing that I took away is when it comes to Galaxy of Heroes, it's easy to think that, the whales, they're playing such a different game than we are. They're playing this game for different reasons if you're a free-to-play player and vice versa. But at the end of the video, you'll remember when it came down to it, if Galaxy of Heroes was taken away from these guys,
right, it
was the exact same thing that they would miss, the community. And in some ways it made me almost want to cry, because I just love the community so much. I was like, look at this. We got people on totally different ends of the spectrum. And when it really comes down to it, when everything is boiled away, it's not about money. It's not about, whatever CG's screwing up. It's about the people who play the game, whether you're free to play or whether you're Uber Kraken. And I just thought that was really inspiring. I loved it. So I'm really happy to hear that you guys loved it too, because it's been really fun to make that content. And I think I'm going to have to keep doing it.
Yeah, a couple takeaways that I listened to the video, and the one thing that they talked about, and you just mentioned it, was the community. Everybody talked about how great our community is. And that
it really is great.
I was sitting there, and I was like, they're right, man. If we don't have the community, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And the second favorite thing that was mentioned in that video, I don't know if it was Quaid or the whale. Quaid's the Kraken.
Rambam was a whale. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know who it was who said it, but they were like, you asked the question, do you have a certain feeling toward free-to-play that are able to accomplish and compete in arena? And he's like, no, I don't feel like any entitlement. I don't feel anything like that. He's like, in fact, I enjoy it that there's competition at all levels. And it speaks to the quality of the game that a free-to-play could do these sort of things.
Yeah.
I love that comment that you have a Kraken or a whale that was totally all in with the notion that free-to-play can accomplish the same things.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, that's how most people are. There are, we've heard stories. There's been posts on Reddit of people who maybe aren't that way, right? But again, vocal minority.
Vocal minority. And I have to agree, man. So great work. Had a lot of fun with that.
Thank you.
And man, so we're about wrapped up on this video right here, guys. But there's going to be 3 more topics over at Cubs' channel. You guys go on over there for the second half of the video. Cubs, anything you want to shout out to the hall before we get up on out of here?
Yeah, in case it's not clear to you guys, we haven't like made a big deal of this yet, but I just want to say this in your video and mine. We're making this a weekly thing. We want this video to be your Monday morning juice.
Cup of coffee.
Your Monday morning cup of, I don't drink coffee. I drink juice, all right? Juice.
Drink chai tea.
Your Monday morning 5-hour energy, 5-hour SWGOH with us. So we're sitting here at Saturday night, and we kind of got a little groove here. Saturday nights, we're just going to do these. So plan on these every Monday. I think that's a pretty good arrangement, I think. I'm enjoying this.
Yes. So with that being said, guys, I'm issuing the evacuation code signal. Good night from the Outer Rim, everybody.
Love you, Hall. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm recording. I've been recording.
Oh, okay. All right. We ready?
I'll be offended if you don't start the video that way. With this just obnoxiously loud.
Baby Yoda water.
Baby Yoda water. Let's go!
All right. It's in 5, 4.